Unexpected ways to get better at socializing and reduce your fear of rejection. Let's go. The first one and the last one are things that the vast majority of people will never do, but if you do them, you're going to reduce your fear of rejection by a lot and you'll be way better than most people. So number one is stand-up comedy or improv comedy, okay? You might be thinking, what? I'm never going to do that. But if you do, you'll see. I mean, doing stand-up when you've never done stand-up before and then you bomb on stage, it is possibly, unless you're a sociopath, the worst feeling in the world, okay? But if you go through that, then nothing is going to feel as painful as bombing on stage, especially with stand-up comedy. Now, improv, I don't have experience with, but it's also going to help you, obviously, get comfortable with people watching you and things like that. And when it comes to stand-up, even if it goes well, of course, it's still going to train you. I mean, like, it's just, you're on stage facing your fear of public speaking, assuming that you're afraid of public speaking, okay? Now, if not stand-up comedy or improv, you can just do any sort of public speaking. If you are used to public speaking already, then you should definitely do stand-up or improv. I've been doing stand-up comedy for over 10 years, on and off, never really professionally, but it definitely helped me get comfortable with rejection, with people. And listen, a lot of stand-up comedians are socially awkward, right? It's not because you do comedy that you're going to be magically, very social, but I think it should help you with not feeling too embarrassed when something goes wrong, okay? Now, number two is you should organize a weekly event in your city, okay? It can be something low-key, like a men's circle. I made a video about this very recently. You can check it out. Or it can be something bigger, like a conference or a workshop or something. But ideally, it should be something that you do every week, so you get used to it. You get better at it. Okay, and you don't have to be very good at organizing stuff, but you'll get better at it by doing it, and you'll be forced to be the man. Like you'll have to be the man organizing, taking charge, leading people, answering questions, etc. So I think that's just phenomenal. And it's very easy to do. Like, there's something you can do. You don't need skills. You can just organize a book club or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Now, number three is teaching. You can probably do that as well, no matter your background. I mean, it's that you don't have to do it as a job. You can do it as a volunteer. You can teach English. You can teach whatever. You can teach a workshop, as I mentioned. I mean, I quit school essentially when I was 13 years old, even 12, and I somehow ended up teaching English to a group of adults in Armenia for 1 month. And it was great. I felt amazing. It was very stimulating, fulfilling. I was like, oh man, I'm good at this. I like this. But even if you don't love it, it's gonna teach you how to take charge, how to have, you'll have people looking at you, you gotta answer questions, same idea really. So I highly recommend that, and really anyone could do. Like, it's one thing to teach one-on-one online, but it's way better if you can teach groups of people in person. So look into it. Number four is either volunteer or get a job that forces you to talk to people. Okay, I very briefly worked at a hostel when I was 20, 21. It was very brief because I was terrible at it, but I was good at talking with people. And in a situation like that, when you have a job where you're supposed to be good at talking with people, you can't allow yourself to be shy. Right? So you have to be friendly. You have to interact with people a lot. And there's going to be possibly dozens of people every day. So that's perfect if you're working at a hostel, hotel, anything related to hospitality. Or, for example, 2 years in a row, I volunteered at Just for Laughs in Montreal. It's a comedy festival. And I was doing things like distributing flyers for hours every day. And just, and instead of just being like, hello, you want a flyer? I was training myself to get people to talk to me. I had to find a way to make people interested in me. So it was very good in terms of building skills. And then I had to accompany comedians from place to place. I had to do a bunch of things. I was with people all the time. So do something like that. Again, it doesn't have to be a job. You can just volunteer. Now, the last thing, and I mentioned that most people are never going to want to do this, it's solo travel. Now, a lot of people travel on their own, but I've been surprised at the amount of people who don't want to do it by themselves because they don't want to get out of their comfort zones. They're like, I'm afraid to do it by myself. I'm afraid I'll be bored or whatever. I want to do it with someone, right? Travel by yourself. Maybe start with just a weekend somewhere. Or, if you can, if your life allows it, if you have money and time or whatever, just go off for 6 months by yourself. I don't know. Just travel by yourself. But the next step is even better. Hitchhike. Try hitchhiking. That's not for everyone. You might say, oh, it's dangerous. Yeah. I don't listen. I'm a big hitchhiker. I used to hitchhike a lot. I don't know if I'll do it again. I hope I will. But over the years, I've hitchhiked a lot. And that completely puts you out of your comfort zone. Now, most of it is just waiting around, really. So you're not with people all that much, especially if you stand by the side of the road. But then you'll get to meet all kinds of different people, make conversation. And it puts you out of your comfort zone. Just not necessarily by talking to people, but just by hitchhiking. I mean, it's like, it's uncomfortable. But the best way to do it, especially in terms of getting better at talking with people, is not to just stand by the side of the road. It's to go to a gas station and then approach the drivers that are entering the gas station. You're like, hey, would you mind giving me a ride? And you'll get better at doing that, and you'll learn how to talk to people, how to be friendly, how to be, how to inspire trust, etc. Now, the vast majority of people will never do this, but if you're serious about really getting better in terms of social skills, you should try this. And you don't have to go on a long trip. You could do this next time you have a day off. You could just go to a gas station outside of town and hitchhike to the next town. Just try it out. See how it goes. And so these things, such as hitchhiking, they teach you to get comfortable with asking and to get comfortable with people telling you no. And you actually realize, you can just ask anything and people might say yes. It's okay if they say no, but also, how interesting. You can just ask for stuff and people will often just give it to you or give you, do you a favor. It's fascinating. So those are the 5 things, the 5 unexpected things that, most people won't tell you, but this is based on my personal experience. And I highly encourage you to try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you tried any of these? I would love to hear about your experience. Are you going to try any of these? I would love it. Keep me posted. And don't forget, you can get a free friendship guide if you subscribe to my newsletter. There's a link for it below, and there's also a link that you can click if you want to work with me so that I can help you fast track your way to becoming really social and getting really good at making friends. See you next time.